Hey everybody, it is just Marco here once again for part 2 of my Mentalist Season 4 review. And I know that it has been a whole day, even though I'm recording it right after. I had a dry throat and I needed to blow my nose and things. My nose is still bothering me because of stupid allergies. Yesterday we literally could not do basically anything because both Safi and I had bad allergies yesterday, and they never really got any better. So, but anyways, the next episode of season 4 is Ruddy Cheeks. This might be the worst episode of the season, because they have this whole story about there was a cancer patient who's going to die, and then someone else killed him as well. And that the whole mystery was stupid. Didn't like it at all. I thought that it might be the weakest mystery of the season. Ironically, it just felt very much like a gimmick. Like, oh, what if there was a cancer patient and he was going to die anyway, and then someone killed him? Like, oh, isn't that interesting? Like, no, it's not. If anything, it was just kind of depressing, because you saw all these different people, and they all were like taking advantage. It was not good. And then at the same time, you had this addiction story with Cho, where another subplot that they have with Cho was that he had an addiction to pills because he hurt his back. And literally all they do with that storyline is he messes up, he apologizes to Rigsby, which I thought all of that was really negative and really dark and just depressing. But then Cho throws all of his pills away. And there is literally no follow-up at all to that story. So it's almost like they're saying, like, oh, if you're addicted to pills, just throw them all in the toilet. Nothing's going to happen after that. You won't go into withdrawal. You won't get the urge to have pills again. Because why? Because I don't know, because Cho is Asian. I don't know. Like he has a superpower that no other person in the world has, or something. Like any other person who got addicted, they wouldn't just be able to go in the bathroom and throw the pills in the toilet and then leave and then just walk it off. I mean, he literally walked off a drug addiction, and then he can't handle his former prostitute girlfriend. Like, I just thought that was so weak. Okay, so trash episode. Next up, Pink Champagne on Ice. I really enjoyed that episode because it was another kind of gimmick where Patrick had to rob a casino. And I loved watching Patrick do that. I thought that it was a great idea to see Patrick commit a heist. And it was so fun to watch. It was suspenseful. But the mystery was kind of weak. I mean, it was okay. I would give that episode like a B, maybe a B+, because I'm a Mentalist fan. But yeah. Next up is Something Rotten in Redmond. To me, this is probably the second best episode of the season. It all revolved around high school, and it was so good because there were so many different suspects, and I literally did not know where things were going to go. And there was, in my opinion, an iconic sequence where Patrick goes into the bathroom and he paints that the principal sucks on the mirror and the walls, and then he gets called to the principal's office. I mean, just it's so funny seeing this grown man get called to the principal's office, and then it turns out that the principal has hidden cameras in the bathrooms. I mean, that was so good, and the reveal of that, it was so surprising to me, and it was so funny and clever. And then I love the whole thing with Patrick doing the stage play and being on stage with the kids and then performing together. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then, of course, I was surprised about the killer. I did suspect something because of the leaves being on the shoulder of the drama teacher, and then the actor boy. So what ended up happening was they were having an affair, and then the teacher who was the victim, he found out and got killed. I thought that was really, really, really a good episode. I mean, that was an A+. And see, this is the funny thing, too, because you go on IMDb. This episode has a 7.7 on IMDb, which that's like a C+. And from the looks of it, you wouldn't know that was like a great episode. But, just watching it, just watching it all on your own and not having the IMDb fan rating in mind. A lot of these episodes are a lot better than what people give them credit for. And then there's others, like the finale, where it's kind of like, okay, why was that episode given such a high rating? Because it was not very good. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I love that episode. Next up is Ruby Slippers. This was the drag queen episode. And just because I'm calling it the drag queen episode, that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. I thought that this episode was actually really, really good too. It was great because, I've seen some gay movies. And in a lot of the gay movies, this is something that people actually talk about. A lot of them end up with a gay person getting raped or killed or both. And that's kind of like the endings of like gay movies. And I'm saying gay because I haven't seen very many lesbian movies, and all of them sucked anyway, so I haven't really seen that for lesbian movies. But I'm just talking about gay movies. Gay movies, a lot of them end with the main character getting killed for being gay. And it's something that I think, gay people deserve to have happy endings too. And so, like, they need to make, like, better gay movies if they make a gay movie. And this one was actually a great solution to that, because it was super clever and kind of depressing, because it's revealed that all of these people throughout the episode, all of these suspects, they were responsible for this kid, or this, I guess he was an adult, I can't remember. Yeah, I think he just turned 18 or something. But all of these suspects were responsible in making him kill himself. But then it's revealed at the end he did not kill himself. These drag queens saved him, and they let him start a new life with them. I thought that was such a great ending. It was I loved how you got to have that sad ending, like the darker ending, and then, boom, at the end, there's a happy ending. And I thought it was all handled really well. I thought it was funny. It has aged well. It's not like they did anything that nowadays you would say, oh no. that's a problematic episode. Which I don't find anything problematic, by the way, in movies and TV, because art is art, and you should be able to do whatever you want in art as long as you're not like actually hurting people. But I thought that they did a really good job with that episode. So the next episode is So Long and Thanks for All the Red Snapper. Okay, that was a complete trash episode, so let's not even talk about that one. That might be the second worst episode of the season. The next episode is Red Rover, Red Rover. This episode I actually really liked. I thought it was a decent episode with a decent mystery. The thing that I really loved was the fact that this guy who Patrick ended up torturing, putting him in a coffin, and keeping him in there until he confessed on a baby monitor. I thought that, you know what? That suspect deserved what he got. Totally deserved what he got. I was so glad that he did that, because the guy also had a gun. And this is really interesting because they brought up that he had a gun, because obviously they sort of act like Patrick is losing it and he did something very wrong here. But the guy had a gun. The guy was going to kill Patrick regardless. And I loved how Patrick figured it out. I loved how he gave this suspect a taste of his own medicine, because he rightly talked about how, like, this suspect, he killed this guy in the most cruel way possible when he didn't have to do that. Like, there was no reason that he had to make him be, like, buried alive in a coffin and then just die suffocating. It was needlessly cruel. And so Patrick just gave him what he gave to that other guy, and for some reason they acted like, I mean, the guy had a gun. The guy was going to kill Patrick, and they still acted like he did something wrong. I thought that was very strange. And but then what's even stranger is that Luther Wainwright, Patrick insults him. He calls him a mama's boy, which I was so satisfied with that scene, because the whole season I hated that character, and I was so excited for Patrick to give him the business. But when it happened, Wainwright started to charge at him. He not only threatened Patrick, he said, "I'm going to kill you," which that's illegal to do that. You're not allowed to threaten people like that. That's illegal. And number two, he literally tried to attack and kill him. And then after all of that, he fires him, which is strange, because you would think that if you're a boss, you would think that after threatening your employee with killing them, that you would not just be allowed to fire them like that. I mean, that would be a conflict of interest, and it would be inappropriate. Like, you're the boss, and you're trying to attack your own employee. It doesn't matter if he said mean things. It doesn't matter if he called you a mama's boy. You can't try to attack and kill one of your employees and then fire them. I think that should have been... In fact, I'll say this, because we're getting to the finale. The finale, which is probably the second worst finale of the whole series. The Crimson Hat. This episode is a disaster. It felt like... It felt like it was very rushed and thrown together. It felt like there should have been a lot more to it. It felt like a huge step down from season 3. And frankly, I really do not have anything good to say about it. Patrick is in Las Vegas, and he is not in the CBI, and he hooks up with this girl who was actually really hot in the movie Snow Day. She played the love interest in Snow Day, which was a pretty good movie. One of my childhood favorites. Sorry, guys. I'm getting the Sophie cough now. But anyways, he hooks up with her, and then he finds out that she is Red John's friend. And she wants Patrick to be Red John's friend too, on the promise that he'll kill Lisbon and bring her cut off head to Red John. And he brings in Lisbon, Rigsby, and Cho on the plot, and Grace. Sorry, guys. My throat is really itchy right now. Oh, God. The allergies, the spring allergies are upon us. But I thought that whole plot was stupid. I thought it was very rushed. It was very obvious and predictable that, Rigsby wasn't really dead. Especially because earlier in the season, this is why I didn't understand why Wainwright was so stupid. Because earlier in the season, they did the same bullshit where they faked the death of someone in order to catch the bad guy. So why wouldn't Wainwright suspect that it was fake this time too? That's just common sense. But number 2, the whole plot is dumb because, as usual, Patrick thinks that he can be one step ahead of Red John. And he has never been one step ahead of Red John. Every time that he is, Red John immediately screws him up, fucks him up, and he just... So I just didn't like that. I did not like that plot, and I didn't like how Susan, Darcy, and Luther, they weren't very effective at all in the finale. In fact, they were kind of dumb. They were kind of like generic, dumb TV police. Speaking of the TV police podcast, but they're good. But like in general, you see in a lot of movies and TV shows like the stereotypical stupid police. That's what Luther and Susan are. I thought it would have been so much more interesting, instead of focusing on Red John, it would have been so much more interesting for them to focus on Susan and Luther coming up with a plot against Patrick and maybe trying to entrap him, and then maybe Red John does things. Maybe then Red John kills those two and he saves Patrick from getting entrapped. And then at that point, he says he wants him to be his friend or something. Like, I don't know, but like, I did not like the whole episode. I thought that it was very predictable. It was very weak. I liked the acting, but it was just kind of the same old, same old. Patrick comes up with a plan against Red John. It's a really ineffective plan. Except in season 3, he had some really good plans, okay? I mean, in the finale, he actually orchestrated some great ideas. But not in this season. This was a bad idea. And then, of course, Red John and him meet, and they talk, and they say the same old things, like, I'm going to get you, or, you need to do stuff with me, Patrick. And Patrick is like, no. And then they're going to cut his fingers off, 2 of his fingers off, and then leave. All of that was dumb. So, yeah, I did not like the finale. I thought that it was a very weak finale. It didn't really feel like a finale. There wasn't very much to it. It was very rushed, which is ironic because season 4 of The Mentalist has the most episodes out of all the seasons of the series. And still, this finale felt rushed. And I think, I don't know, I mean, maybe they should have done another 2-parter. Maybe they should have had, I just think that the finale would have been better if they had some of these plots throughout the season build up to a bigger plot at the end. Like, they had all these plots throughout the season, and they never really went anywhere, and they all got dropped. And if they had those plots building up to the finale, I think that the finale would have been a lot better. And I also I don't know, like, season 3 was so much better than this, So that's my general thoughts of the season. And again, I didn't like the whole story with Wayne getting his girlfriend pregnant. I thought it was dark and depressing. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. So here's actually something that I thought would have been really cool. So they have this girl come in from Snow Day. She comes in to lure Patrick. Well, instead of doing that, they could have brought in the girl from the Valentine's Day episode. They could have had her come back for the finale. And either maybe she's in... Okay, this would be really cool. If I could go back in time, this would have been a way better finale. Maybe the Valentine's Day girl is in debt to Red John, and she goes to Patrick for help. Or maybe she is legitimately Red John's friend, and she is the one who tries to recruit Patrick, because that would make so much more sense. And it would make sense because she is the type of person who could be a friend of Red John's. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. I'm telling you guys, these spring allergies, they hit you. And then you're just like, yeah, whatever. But anyways, I just thought that they could have done so much more with the finale and the season as a whole. Looking back on it, it really seems like it was very scattered and very unfocused. And, maybe they didn't really know what to do with the characters. They didn't know what to do with the stories. But it's weird because looking back on it, I feel like there were obvious things that they could have done to tell a good story, to have a good season. And I don't know why they didn't do why they didn't do those things. Like, it feels like they had a lot of golden opportunities here to tell a good story this season. And instead of doing that, they decided to tell a really weird kind of scattered story that ended with the... Excuse me, sorry. I don't know what's happening in this review. Maybe Red John is trying to get at me somehow, but it feels like there were very obvious things that they could have done that would have been an interesting overarching story, but they didn't do that. And so as a result, this season was not as good as season 3 or season 1. but it might be better than season 2. I think another weird thing is that they tried to make this season more depressing. And they did it, sometimes it worked, like in the blinking red light episode, which I thought was a masterpiece. But then other times it felt like it was just depressing for the sake of being depressing, which then kind of had the effect of feeling like a soap opera, or just like an after school special or something, like the addiction storyline, or the storyline with Rigsby and his girlfriend getting pregnant, and then all of that. So yeah, so overall, I felt like season 4 was a mixed bag. I can't wait to see season 5 though, because every season of the show has felt different, you know? And that's something that I haven't really seen before a lot. I used to, as a kid, I wouldn't really care about, if TV shows, I wouldn't really care about which season I watched first for a TV show. So for instance, I would go to the library a lot, and I would rent seasons of the X-Files or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it's really funny because I would look at the covers and I would go, okay, why is season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer green, but season 4 is blue and season 5 is red? Why are they different colors? Is there something different about this season, that there's like a different color? And the same thing with the X-Files. Like, why is season 1 of the X-Files yellow or something like that? Like I would go like, why are the seasons different colors? Are they like different? Are they different somehow? And it would turn out that they weren't really different. Like the color thing, it was just a way of making the box art look pretty. But with The Mentalist, every season has been completely different. And I don't know why they didn't keep the same type of things that they would do from season 3. Because season 3 was so much better. And they had an overarching story that paid off. They had a bunch of regular characters who, wouldn't just disappear and come back and they're really weak. Like the season 3 characters were really, really good. So, I just don't know. This season felt like it was a step back. And what I really hope is that this show is not good every other season. Because, remember guys, season 1 was really good. Season 2 was really weak. Season 3 was really good. Season 4 was really weak. So maybe season 5 will be good, and then season 6 will be bad. I really hope it doesn't turn out that way, because that would be really odd. But then again, I want the show to be great again. I don't mean it like that, but I want it to be... I want it to get back to the level it was in season 3. So I really hope that it gets there. In terms of food, again, this felt like the messy aftermath of season 3. So I'm going to give this season a rating, which is a leftover cold meatloaf sandwich with chips and a soda. It's kind of a junky season. The elements don't really work together. Like, it's a very junky meal, but there are really good things in there to love. Like, I mean, I would still say there are episodes in this season that I'll probably come back to. I don't know when, but maybe soon. But overall, I think I was really let down by the overarching story, and I'm kind of let down. Like, when you zoom out of this season, you really get the clear picture that they had no idea what they were doing. and they tried so many different things, and they never really got to a place where I felt like they were confident and they had like a consistent singular vision. And for that, I think that this was a pretty weak season. It was a mixed bag. So overall, that is my review of The Mentalist Season 4. I hope I didn't forget anything. I spent an hour and 30 minutes reviewing this season, but I hope I didn't forget anything. So yeah. So please like this video and comment, and please subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to support this channel a little further, please head on over to our Patreon page, where you can get access to tons of exclusive content, spoiler-filled movie reviews, rankings, my short film, County Fear, and lots more. So goodbye, everybody. See you soon.